So I've just arrived to Newlands College in Newlands, New Zealand, right outside of the metro area, Wellington. And it's a bedroom community. As you can see, the kids wear uniforms here. And this is kind of what it looks like outside of the school. So I'm going to be walking. So what school are we at here today? What are your names? And what are the grade levels here?
Okay, so kia ora koutou, I'm Deb King, I'm the acting principal of Newlands College, and this is Susan McDermott, acting deputy principal. We are a school called Newlands, is a suburb of Wellington, the capital city of New Zealand, and we are a co-educational school, starting in year 9 going through to year 13. Kids are mostly 13 when they start in year 9 through to about 18 in year 13. In the old style, we would say we were a decile 9 school, which means that relatively
high socioeconomic.
High socioeconomic. We've changed a lot as people have migrated out of Wellington. Our socioeconomic's gone up and up in recent times.
Okay, how many kids are in the school?
1,000 kids.
Is that considered a large school for a secondary school?
No, I'd say it'd be average.
Average.
Yeah, an average school. The larger ones are up to 2,000, some even 3 up in Auckland. We have been indicated by the ministry though that we're going to grow. There's going to be quite a few hundred extra kids coming into this area in the next few years, so we're a sort of a growth area.
Right.
We're quite a special school in that we have a number of our OARS funded or special needs students are here, so we have about 40 of those kids who require additional support. But a really really interesting mix of young people.
And most special ed kids, they're mainstreamed, or do they have special schools for these kids?
So we can show you that when we have a bit of a look around, but we have what you might call a learning support area, which is specialist classrooms set up for learning support kids, and then a number of those students go out into mainstream where appropriate.
So for administration, you're the principal. How many deputy principals do you have?
Susan and 2 others. Yeah.
2 others, okay.
Yeah.
And is that about standard for this size school?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know they don't have vocational schools, so the kids here, are they all prepared to go to college, or what happens about, what percentage end up going to the university, and where all the other kids then would go to learn a skill?
So, in an average cohort of 200, probably about a quarter would go to university. I'm going to just guesstimate here. Okay. About a quarter would go to university. About another quarter would end up in a tertiary education, like a polytech. They might go and learn, something like construction or a trade.
Are there construction schools?
Yes, there are. Yeah, they're not specifically construction, but they are. You can go and do construction.
Yeah.
Training,
trades. Training.
Is that paid for by the government? These construction schools, or are they private?
Oh no, they're not private, but so they are funded by the government, but you still have to pay fees.
Okay, but they're not that expensive.
Well, I guess it's comparative.
Yeah.
When I came through New Zealand, you didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
So, your fees might be a couple of thousand.
There's 1 free year of education from the current government, but other than that, they pay for the others.
Yeah, so you get your first year free.
Right. So then a lot of those kids would go and learn vocational skills after.
Yes.
After
school, yeah.
Right. What do you know? What percentage of the kids about roughly stay in school, or actually finish?
Okay, so I can tell you what our role at the moment for our year 13s is about 175.
Yeah.
And that's about 25 have gone out of the 200. And that's a guesstimate for this year.
Yeah.
But and this year's year 13, perhaps more of them will be going to university, it seems. Like I would argue perhaps for this year's, we're up to sort of half of them going to tertiary university study.
Is it compulsory to either finish 12th grade or be 18? Is that kind of
16.
16? So at 16 you can leave?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and often at 16 there are options outside of school that work for kids, that work better for kids. sometimes they're ready to get a job, sometimes they're actually ready to go and, we refer to the construction trades as an example, or early childhood, or other areas that they want to go and work in, and away they go.
So, do you lose a lot of kids at 16, or do most of them finish out high school?
We don't lose a lot at 16. It's
No.
probably more once they're into sort of year 12, they may start to go off. So 16, when they're turning 16, they're still at sort of doing their first level of qualification for NCA. So most kids get that.
What does that mean? The first level of qualification.
So we have our qualification system is NCEA, and there's a level 1, 2 and 3.
NCA means
National Certificate of Achievement.
Okay.
Education Achievement.
And that's something they have to get to graduate from high school, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to get it, no, you can just leave without it, but yes. The
But it is-
ideal, the
Yeah.
government have set as a target of every kid getting level 2.
Okay.
So most of our students are staying through level 1 and into level 2, and then they're sort of starting to sort of leave.
Level 3 would be high school graduation.
Yeah, that'll be your last year of school.
Right.
And it's quite interesting now, the universities, you have to get university entrance, and that means they specify subjects that you need to pass
Okay.
pretty much to get level 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so then maybe that's why kids drop out, because they figure, hey, I'm not going to the university. There's just no way I'm going to make it.
Limited subjects in year 13, perhaps, yes, as you say.
Right.
Yeah. And also we've got a good relationship with some of the other educational institutions, like our polytechs, where sometimes, for instance, I'm going to come back to construction, I know I keep hammering it a bit because that's where there's a real sort of need for people to work. They have got all the equipment, they're set up to go and to teach these courses appropriately, whereas we have, when we can show you when we've got some hard technology, workshops, but they're nowhere near as extensive as you might need if you were going to learn a construction trade. So to me it makes a lot of sense in a country like ours that we might put all those kids in one place to learn that with those resources.
And they could start doing that at 16.
Yeah, because for some, the academic type learning that university demands isn't appropriate. It's not their thing. They're better off to do other things.
Yeah. So you don't believe that all kids are going to go to college like they do in the United States?
No, why? It's not university is not appropriate for a lot of people. In fact, a lot of people who go to university, it's not appropriate for them either.
Right.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And what we also have is we have connections with those next sort of layers, don't we? So some of our students in year 12 are off on courses. So they have sort of a bit more of a bridging type sort of course before they might go off and do that sort of full time once they leave our school.
So do these kids that know they're not going to go to college, then do they, do these schools come over here to show kids options? Is it discussed with them? Like, okay, it doesn't look like I'm going to college. Here's a vast array of options of which I could go to. Do they actively come here and?
We actively go there.
Yeah.
So in year 10, so when you're 14, 15,
Okay.
we chuck them in a bus and we take them out to those open days in institutes, and they have a look for themselves, because unless they know what it is those options look like, and very often they don't, that's the best way for them to showcase what's on offer. So that's what we do.
That's good.
Yeah, they do come into us as well, and we have what's called a trades academy set up, where we also dual enrol some kids, where they can be at those institutes and as for 2 days a week and be at school for 3 days.
Yeah.
That happens a bit in year 12.
Yeah.
And that's so that they can get the best of both worlds. They haven't sort of left school, they've still got that sort of umbrella of being looked after. But they can go and learn those other skills.
So these type of schools, do they have plumbing schools, electrical?
Yep. All that. When I talk about the construction trades, I guess that's what I mean.
How about
it's
all that
diverse hospitality?
Yeah.
Really, there's
nursing,
a hospitality
you can go
school?
to a nursing.
There's a nursing school.
Yeah.
What about if you want to be a veterinarian assistant, something like that?
There are what you call starter courses or something. There's some name for them in vet nursing.
Automotive.
automotive is big.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good example of what we can't deliver in school.
Right.
So if you're really into cars, we can really target your interest by providing you with some projects that might. So we've had a kid recently who, the working on a go-kart next door. He's been over at the intermediate helping them with a cart that they've been kind of building.
Right.
And then, but at some point, that level that he needs is going to change and it's going to be outside of school.
Right. So